We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to have top 10 tips for filing your VA disability claim from a VA accredited attorney. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to VA Made Easy. I'm VA accredited attorney and U.S. Army combat veteran Ed Farmer. All right, tip number 1, have a diagnosis. One of the 3 elements of service connection is you have to have a current disability. So you have to have something wrong with you in order to file the claim. And the best evidence of this is medical evidence confirming that disability and providing a diagnosis. The C&P doctors and the VA, it really is best if you have an actual diagnosis, although it is okay to just describe symptoms when you're filing a claim. It's just not as strong. So maybe you have back pain, but you don't know it's degenerative disc disease. That's a good example of one you could just file for back pain. But if you're trying to get something like sleep apnea, you better have a diagnosis. Even things like traumatic brain injury, you should have a diagnosis. Even mental health conditions, you should know whether it's PTSD or anxiety or depression. You should have an idea of what your actual diagnosis is. It's just going to make your claim all that stronger, less probable that the VA will deny you. All right, tip number 2, stop mass filing claims. So I know some of the veteran service organizations kind of have this theory, well, just file for everything and see what sticks. That doesn't do anybody any good. One, it's just hurting yourself. Now you have some VA rater who has to go through 30 different claims. He's not going to be too happy about that. It may result in you just getting denied. But also, it's taking time away from other veterans who may have legitimate disability claims. So if you guys know it's not related to service, don't file for it. It's not only hurting your claim, but it's hurting your buddy who does have a legitimate claim. It's taking resources away from them. Know what your theory of service connection is. So if you're going to file for a disability, know how that disability is related to service. Be able to clearly state to the VA, this is how this condition is related to my service. They're not going to do that for you. So if you're going to file for something, make sure you're able to explain to the VA how it's related to your service and be able to back it up if possible through service records or, as I'll talk about in a minute, buddy statements. And all you have to do is write your theory of service connection either on a piece of paper or the VA has a standard form, VA Form 21-4138. You could use that as well. But just make it clear. The VA is not going to do the work for you. All right, number 4. This is very similar to the last one. Know your toxins. So environmental exposure, toxins is a big topic now in VA disability law with the passing of the PACT Act. And yes, the VA does, to a degree, investigate what you may have been exposed to. But again, there's hundreds of thousands of veterans filing their claims. They're not going to do a deep dive into everybody. I suggest if you're filing for a disability that's related to some sort of toxic exposure, be able to explain to the VA what the toxin is, how you were exposed to it, and if you have research or medical evidence linking that to your disability, provide that as well. The VA may not know, well, the barracks you slept in were filled with asbestos, or that you used a solvent with TCE in it every day. You're up to your elbows in it. They may not know these things. So again, more information to the VA, the better. All right, number 5, use buddy statements. And I'll say this again and again and again. Buddy statements are extremely powerful. For one, you don't necessarily have to have a document in your service record to prove that something happened in service. You could use buddy statements. Buddies are competent to testify about what they observed. So if you had someone observe you hurt your back in service, get a statement from them. If you had somebody witness you had a concussion after IED, track that person down. And buddies aren't just good for showing in-service events. They're also good for things like increasing your rating. So say you're 30% for PTSD, but you think your symptoms are more 70%. Well, how do you go about proving that if you don't have treatment records? A lot of guys don't have treatment records. You write a statement about what your symptoms are. Look at the diagnostic code. What symptoms do I have to prove here? Get a statement from people who could observe your symptoms. Maybe you have a spouse. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you have someone you work with. Buddy statements are key. Go see my video about buddy statements. I'll put a link in the description. All right, number 6. Stop blindly appealing your case. There is a chance that your claim is going to be denied the first time around. Now, if that happens, 1, don't worry about it. It's the VA. But 2, also just don't fill out a form, one of the appeal forms, and submit it. Don't blindly appeal. Find out why your case is being denied. Am I missing my current disability? Did I not prove the in-service event? Or did I get a bad Nexus opinion? Those are the 3 elements of service connection: current disability, in-service event, injury, or disease, and a medical opinion linking the current disability to that in-service event. Do some investigative work into your case, figure out what's wrong, which brings me to a future point: get some help if needed. All right, tip 7, don't immediately pay for a Nexus opinion. Now, I know there's companies out there online, they're like providing you Nexus opinions, and they're saying, oh, you need this to win the case. Maybe, but Nexus opinions are expensive, and in many cases, you are entitled to a free VA exam called the compensation and pension exam. Why not use the VA resources first? You don't know. Maybe that examiner agrees with you, especially if you clearly lay out why you think the disability is service related. Maybe he agrees and you have a positive opinion. You just saved yourself thousands of dollars. So try the VA's resources first before you reach into your pocket for that Nexus opinion. Even as an attorney, I don't immediately go out and get a Nexus opinion. There's other ways to get free medical opinions, especially if the VA fucked up the first exam. Number 8, be patient. There's a good chance you could be denied. There's a good chance you're not going to be happy with the decision. It could take a while. You may have to appeal several times. This is all normal. This happens to many, many people. So if you get denied the first time around, don't give up there. I mean, if you need it, have somebody review your record, which brings me to my next point, number 9. Be careful who you take advice from. There's all these guys on YouTube giving out advice. There's VSOs, there's claim sharks, there's unaccredited agents. There's just a dizzying amount of people trying to help people with claims. My advice to you is this. When you're watching that YouTube video, ask yourself, how is this person competent to give me advice on VA claims? Are they an accredited agent or attorney? Have they handled many of them? Maybe they were a VSO in the past. Or do they not have any credentials? So just be careful. I mean, anything can be put online. Also, stop listening to your buddies so much. Maybe they have a tip for you. Maybe that tip's legitimate, but maybe not. You're not him and they're not you. So the same advice doesn't always work. I'm not saying not listen to your buddies, but just be careful of the advice you're getting. And tip number 10, if you're going to hire somebody to help you out, make sure that person is not only accredited from the VA to protect yourself, protect your money. Accredited reps can only charge up to a certain amount. Go see, I did 2 videos on unaccredited reps and how they just steal money from veterans. Use someone accredited, not only accredited, use somebody experienced. Use an attorney who's been handling this for 15 years, who's handled thousands of claims. Just check them out. All right, guys, that does it. I hope you liked this video. If you like these sort of top 10 lists, let me know in the comments. If you need help with your VA claim, visit me at vetlawoffice.com. That does it, guys. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. Remember, you have the power to change your VA claim.